Hello, and welcome to Magical Monday Live. I know we haven't done this in a while, but I'm really excited to kind of get back to the swing of things. I know no matter where you are in the world, we're kind of in the middle of a pandemic, so most of us are self-isolating, some more than others, depending on like your health and your choices. So I wanted to come on and I wanted to do a live stream about staying connected with your craft while you're self-isolating. Let me just give me a second. Okay. Sorry, I'm just like fixing my computer really quickly. Done. Okay. All right. So welcome. If I know we have a lot of new people in the community. If you have not seen any of my videos, my name is Ivy. Hi, Carrie. My name is Ivy. I'm a high priestess of a coven that's been around for a really long time, like 15-ish years. I've been practicing for over 20 years. I really just do my very best to like take a really practical, approach to witchcraft and make it less fluffy. And there's nothing wrong with fluff at all. If you enjoy the fluff, you know, that's great. But I'm not going to be the person who is going to give you the fluff. I feel like we all have our like awesome woo-woo sort of like experience. Some people call it UPG. We all have our own experience. And you don't need me to call you my beloveds or like my sister priestesses or anything super, super dramatic or anything like that. So I'm very practical. And one of my purposes is to like help you learn for yourself. That's kind of why I'm here. That's one of the things that's really important to me when it comes to real life witchery, is that, you know, you learn to do it for yourself, so you are not like just, you know, dependent on books and what other people tell you. So there we go. Yay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Good to see faces. Well, good to see words associated with names and faces. Alrighty, so let's just jump into it. This is 5 ways to stay connected with your craft while self-isolating. Way number 1 is connect with other witches virtually, which you're doing here. So good job. The easiest way right now seems to be on Facebook. There are other like content creation platforms like TikTok has a lot of witches on there. YouTube, of course, where I'm going to post this video on YouTube after we're done. There are a lot of different ways that you connect. You can connect. Amino, I don't know if you've ever downloaded the Amino app. Hi, Liz. If you've ever downloaded the Amino app, there are some like witchy like apps. Like it's like something you download and then you can like choose different, like basically like forums. If you remember forums, if you're old like me, you remember forums. They're kind of like forums, like where you can post blogs. There's some like chat, like actual chats and things like that going on. So just continue to connect and kind of build your network. Also, don't just be a consumer, be a contributor. And this is something that's really important, because when we're isolating, whether it's like because we're in a pandemic so we can't talk to people, or if you are a kind of person who will sometimes self-isolate just because like anxiety or depression or whatever, like sometimes we tend to self-isolate, right? So one thing to think about is don't just be a consumer. Don't just consume content. Don't just consume like Netflix or Facebook groups and books. Like also contribute, because everybody has something to teach. Like we all always have things to learn, but you know something that somebody else doesn't. So pay attention to the questions. Like if you're in Facebook groups, pay attention to the questions that you know the answer to and contribute to them, because you have things to share as well. So don't just consume, contribute. Also Zoom classes. So obviously right now in a lot of places shops are shut down, or if they're not shut down, they might be shut down. Like here in California, like we are not doing very well because people can't be bothered to wear masks because freedom or whatever. I don't know about you guys, but like 4th of July, I took a walk. Woo! There was like a party down the block with like 50 people. I'm like nervous about them. You know, nervous for them. But you know, we have a lot of these local shops that we want to still, you know, we still want to support them, because if we don't support our local shops, they're going to go away, and we won't have a local shop, and we'll just be, you know, shopping online. And there's nothing wrong with shopping online. I shop online all the time. Guilty for sure. But if we want our local shops to succeed, then we need to support them any way we can. So if you can't go in, like I have asthma, so I am pretty much just staying at home as much as possible. I go out like once a week to do grocery shopping, and that's pretty much it. But you know, if you can go out and support them, that's awesome. But a lot of them, I'm finding, are having Zoom classes. So just like they would probably have regular classes, it's just a Zoom class, and it probably costs a little bit less than a regular class, but make sure you're kind of keeping an eye out for those Zoom classes. So, and even if you, what's really cool about Zoom is even if you're not supporting your personal, like, little witch shop, you know, you can support others. Like, we have a shop out here called the Green Man. It's in North Hollywood. It's pretty far from me, but they have like a whole schedule of Zoom classes that you can, you know, buy tickets to. So, you know, you've got kind of a larger catalog of classes than you might ever have. So keep an eye out for those. Make sure that you know, it's really helpful to, I guess, look for live conversations. You know, I'm not just saying that because we're doing Facebook Live, yay, but like, there is something about talking to somebody in real time, whether it's like this, or it's like face-to-face in Zoom, or, you know, or if it's in chat. Like, there's just something about real-time communication that we don't see often online anymore. I mean, of course, we've got like group chats, we've got like our texts and everything, but when it comes to like bigger groups and forums, look for live discussions. That can help you feel more connected with your craft and connected with other people who practice the same things you do. So that might be Reddit, that might be Facebook, that could be Instagram, it could be YouTube. I think like it could be TikTok. I think TikTok has live stuff now. Amino, you know, I'm in several Amino chats. So like, you know, just that like constant actual chat back and forth is really helpful and can help you stay connected. It can help you learn with more things, but we just want to, you know, just stay connected with other witches. And it helps you grow your network, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Also, book clubs. There are some virtual book clubs that have been, you know, popping up here or there, or feel free to start one. There are plenty of places for you to start a group, or start a book club, or start, you know, a local Facebook group so that you could talk about what you love with people who are local to you, that eventually, once this whole pandemic thing is over, you can go and actually meet. Okay, so that's number one. Step one. One way was connect with other witches virtually. All right, number two is practice your practices. Practice your practices. And what I mean by this is, I don't know about you, but like I was like, oh yeah, no, this is pandemic time. Like, I'm going to have all of this extra time, and I'm just focused on my spirituality. But it is not that easy, because when you're at home, you have a lot of distractions. You have, oh, I could be cleaning, or I could be doing this, or I could be doing that. And really, for many people, like, those distractions haven't really changed, especially if you're still working, if you're still like having to take care of all of your responsibilities. So this is just a reminder to practice your actual practices. So make time to meditate. Like, think about how often do you meditate right now, and then think of like where you might be able to fit that into your life. And the reason I like to bring up meditation and visualization is because it helps in so many different like facets of the craft. And I know I've said that so many times. Meditation and visualization are two of the foundation pieces that I really try to push for new witches. But there are so many apps that are available now. You've got Headspace, I think Calm, Insight Timer is my #1 favorite like guided visualization and meditation app, because it does like timers with like nice chimes, like to like get you out of your meditation. It's amazing. We've got all of these awesome resources, you know, that are available to us now. Another way is to throw yourself into an upcoming Sabbath or Esbat working, right? So, you know, right now we have Lammas or Lunasa coming up, depending on like however you want to see that. That is in the beginning of August, so you can start planning that. And when you're planning that, when you're doing research, when you're reading about it, when you're learning about deities and you're learning about the different lore, you know, because almost every holiday has different kinds of lore, because I feel like the collective unconscious, like, you know, these sorts of holidays were celebrated all across the globe, right? You know, so you've got all of these like sorts of all of this information to like pull from. So that research itself is putting some really awesome energy into your working or your ritual or your dinner or whatever you're going to do for the Sabbath. And again, if you're new, I you know, you don't have to do a ritual at every Sabbath or a ritual at every Esbat. But it's helpful to do something, because doing something helps you align with the energy. So whether it's the energy of the sun for the Sabbats or the energy of the moon for the Esbats, it helps you align with that energy. So think about what you could do, what you might want to do for Lunasa or for Lammas, however you want to see it, in the beginning of August. Like, just start researching, go on Pinterest, do those things. And even just the fact of preparing helps you align with that energy. Just the fact of learning helps you align with that energy of the earth. Journal or do some introspective work. This is a good time to like do shadow work if that's something that you've been thinking about doing. You know, if you want to start a devotional practice, this is a great time to do so as well. If you have a deity that you've been connecting with and you really just kind of want to set up and start a devotional practice, this is a really great time to do that. You know, and I do have a devotional journal on Amazon. It's called Oh My Goddess. You could just Google Oh My Goddess Ivy Latchford and you find it, I'm sure. And that's a really great way to start a devotional practice. It's basically journaling and researching. There's journaling prompts, there's research prompts, there's blank pages to record your experiences. You know, just start a devotional practice. Or even if you haven't started a divination practice, if you don't practice divination every day, this is a great time to do so. I bought new runes because I haven't really done a lot of rune reading in the past few years. I only do it every once in a while when I go to a local event. That we usually, it's more tarot based, but sometimes we do runes too. You know, whatever anybody wants to bring, any divination thing anybody wants to bring. So now's a good time to start a divination practice. Are you pulling a card every day? And if you're not pulling a card every day and you want to learn tarot, or you know, you want to get used to like an oracle deck, pull a card every day. It really helps you connect with your deck and with the cards. Even if you have to read a little white book to like get your answer and like maybe like take a couple notes or whatever, like it is an amazing way to like learn that practice. So number 1 was connect with other witches virtually. Number 2 is practice your practices. Number 3 is learn something new. So like I mentioned before, more places are having Zoom classes than ever before. There are tons of things that you can learn that are new. Coursera is a platform where like college professors teach classes for free. You know, there's so much like free information if you have like a pantheon you want to learn about. Thanks, Chelsea. You're the best. She just put the link for the journal. You're the best. But like there are a lot of really cool resources out there, and if you want to learn something new and you don't know where to go for it, that whole connecting with other witches, that will help you, because there are tons of witches who have been around here for a long time, and even if they don't know, like even if I don't know exactly everything to know about astrology, I can point you in the right direction, or I can point you to somebody else who will know. Like, so just work on learning something new. You know, I mentioned before, local shops are having online classes. You can buy a new book. Just buy a new book. You know, whether it's a Kindle book or a book that you're going to take notes in, just buy it. Just buy a new book and focus on it, no matter what it is. Like, I have a book that's been sitting here for a long time. I am in love with it. I actually might create a book club around it. It's called The Great Work. It's like it's a really neat book. I should have brought it over here. I didn't know I was going to talk about it, but it talks about different things you can do. Like, I think it's a week, like every week or every couple of weeks. It's a really neat book. So if you're looking for a book that will help you with your practical practice and give you ideas on how to align with energies and like actual like things you can do, that's a great book. I will post a link to it and the author once we're done here, because I don't remember the author's name. Sorry. But it's an amazing book. I really love it. Try some kitchen witchery. Now, when I say kitchen witchery, I'm not just talking about cook something. Cook something, everybody. So if you were part of our kitchen witchery challenge, I don't know, a year ago, a couple years ago, we talked about how kitchen witchery is just basically using what you have and your common sense. So you don't need to buy 5,000 herbs to make something happen. You probably have herbs that align with your intentions sitting in your kitchen cabinet. You just need to like take them out, think about them, what, you know, smell them, taste them. Is it earthy? Is it spicy? If it's earthy, then it probably aligns with earth stuff. So like prosperity and grounding and maybe protection. And fiery stuff is like passion and love and transformation if it tastes spicy. So like it's, you know, use your common sense and what you already have to create something, to make something happen. Or, you know, just try a new technique or a new practice. You know, like think of a new perspective for things you already do and just experiment and try that. Okay, so that was 3, learn something new. All right, number 4, take a new step on your path and become a mentor or a student, right? Depending on where you are in your path. So if you've been practicing for a while and you want to help people, consider becoming a mentor. Facebook has started in a lot of their groups. There's an option for group people to like turn on a mentor and student sort of like module. I haven't really explored that too much, but you know, so there are several of the Facebook groups that I'm in who are working on mentor and students, whether it's through the Facebook model or whether it's through, you know, like kind of an off-site thing. There are people who are like, I'm in a group and there is a form you fill out for if you want to be a mentor, a form you fill out if you want to be like a student, and then they match people up. So those things are happening, right? So become a mentor or become a student. So ask, if you're a new witch, ask around to see if there's a mentor available. You know, and again, this also kind of circles back to that whole connecting with other witches, because you know, some people really want to help other people. I remember when I like first kind of got my feet and I like kind of really, everything started clicking and I was really having a real practice. You know, I've always really wanted to help people, but I was like super passionate about it. And you know, I had students, like, I think I'd been practicing for maybe 3 years, and I already, you know, when you're practicing all of the time, you're getting a lot of experience. And so, you know, practicing for 3 years all the time could be, you know, very equal to practicing for 5 or 6 years sporadically. So if you've been really focused and you really want to help other people, consider becoming a mentor. Everybody has something that, like I mentioned earlier, that everybody has knowledge that other people could learn from, right? And especially right now, mentors, people who have been practicing for a long time, if you are in need of money, consider creating like short classes and just charging a little bit, like $5. You can do that. You can charge people through Eventbrite. It's really easy, and you know, you can help people and also help yourself keep the lights on at your house by teaching. Because I know not all of us have jobs right now. A lot of us could use a little extra money. You know, it's really hard right now for a lot of people. So if you have the knowledge and you're willing to kind of learn a little bit about the technology, then, you know, by all means, like I completely encourage you to create classes, because, you know, I don't know about other people, but like I still have a job and I like to help people. So when I get a delivery, I will tip bigger than I usually do, right? So I completely like support and encourage those who have knowledge to share to take the time to figure out and offer it to other people. Okay. And if you do that, you want to like promote through this group, I am fine with that. Just like contact me first so that I know what you're doing, so I don't just like delete your post, right? Just, you know, communicate with me, because, you know, what a lot of people think, like a lot of people don't understand that it's hard sometimes when there's like kind of a stigma about paying for classes, but there also is an energy exchange when you are teaching somebody or learning something. And if you don't deal with that energy exchange at the time, this kind of also goes back to like contributing and not just consuming. If you don't deal with that energy exchange, like the universe will balance it out eventually. So if you don't want to like pay $5 for a class or $10 for a class or whatever, that's fine. But if you want to consume it and not pay anything, like you're going to have to pay later in some way. The universe is going to like balance that out. So it's better for everybody involved if you just kind of like clear that energetic, I don't want to say debt because that has kind of a negative connotation, but clear that energetic balance, I guess, in the beginning. So number 1, connect with other witches virtually. Number 2, practice your practices. Number 3, learn something new. Number 4, take a new step on your path and become a mentor or a student. And number 5 is easy and difficult depending on where you are. It's go outside. So it's easy to stay inside all day once you get used to it, right? It's comfortable. This is where the air conditioning is. It is summertime. It's probably hot outside. But we are not meant to be in a cement box all day. We're just not meant to. So that's why, like, when we go to the park or when we go camping, for a lot of us, we get really tired at the end of the day, but it's like a good feeling tired. It's like a relaxed tired. It's like I don't really know how to explain it, but it's different than just like I worked all day tired. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just different. It feels like it's meant to be. So, take your shoes off, ground with your bare feet. Hug a tree. Hugging a tree is super grounding, and it's also a really good way for you to practice like sensing energy. Put your hands on the tree. You can ask the tree questions. You can, just try to feel the energy of the tree. There are different trees. I mean, you don't have to be like the person who is like embracing the tree, like, at the park. But I mean, you can if you want to be there. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's also something you can do pretty subtly as well. Listen to the birds. Like, I know I already mentioned like meditation and visualization and how that's 2 of the things that I always push for newbies. There's usually 4 things. Another third thing is observation. And part of that's body observation. Part of that is like environmental observation. So listen to the birds. Listen to the sounds. Feel like the grass on your feet. Like use all of your senses to observe what's going on around you. And we can do that all of the time, but like here, like I'm in my office right now. And I hear the air conditioning slowly trying to cool off my room. I have fans. I have a dog, but that's it. There's not a lot of input. But when you are out in nature, you have so much input that you can like focus on and listen to and just be in the moment. Like you don't have to like journal about, oh, I heard a bird today, it was blue. Like you don't have to do any of that. Like just be in the moment and listen and appreciate all of those sounds. The wind through the leaves of the trees, the birds, the feel of the grass on your feet. Even like kids playing at a playground, if that's, if that is something part of like the park that you can get to, and I understand that that's not always possible for people. Some people live in the country and it's super easy. You just literally go outside and all you have is like beautiful nature. And some people live in an apartment in a city and you have to like find a park and you could still hear cars, but like, just basically do the best you can. That's all. This is like real life witchery, right? You could just do the best you can with what you have. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge what you're doing, because whatever you're doing is enough. So just try to be in the moment. And I think that's hard for a lot of us, because we're thinking about the next thing that we need to do. And even in like this quarantine time, like I could be cleaning the floors, which I freaking hate to do. so we still kind of like run through things in our mind. Carrie, that's why I hope we get a dog. My agoraphobia is like at its max. Yeah, so like once you're used to not leaving your house, it's harder to leave your house. My husband has agoraphobia as well, so I understand. Like, it's a process, right? So, you know, just do as much as you can do. If all you can do when I say like go outside is go into your front yard and put your bare feet on your grass, then do that, because that's what you can do. Like, that's pretty much it. And that's kind of what my whole real life witchery philosophy is about, is just doing what you can do. Because we all, there's not a competition. There's not like, oh, I'm more witchy than you, and you know, that sort of thing. Like, we all have different needs. We all have different responsibilities. You know, yeah, some people can spend like 4 hours making the most perfect Instagram picture of their altar, but others, we have kids and family and dogs and houses and work and second jobs and keeping the lights on. We all have different responsibilities and different worries. You know, we're all not going to be able to make this like that perfect like witchcraft aesthetic Instagram, right? So, you know, just do what you can. So going through Bella. So true. We're constantly in our own heads that we forget to be in the moment and just be still. That is some, you know, and that's really something that I like. I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with too. So that's why it's important for me to tell everybody, because I know that it's not easy, because we all have all this thing. We have all the things going on. We've got personal stuff, and even with work, we have like interpersonal dynamics at work. We have interpersonal dynamics at home. We have responsibilities. We have parents. We have kids. We have dogs. We have cleaning. We have like these unrealistic expectations that we put on ourselves also. Is that just me? I feel like it's probably not just me. So take a moment for yourself. So I think I've said so like 16,000 times, like usual. Number 1, connect with other witches virtually. Number 2, practice your practices. Number 3, learn something new. Number 4, take a new step on your path, whether that's becoming a mentor, whether that's becoming like a more serious student. Take another step on your path. And number 5, just go outside. Just go outside. Okay? So that's all I have for you guys today. I think the next Magical Monday Live is coming up in like 2 weeks, and that's going to be on offerings. I will be posting a form to gather any questions that you have about offerings, so I can make sure that I cover everything and anything that you guys might want to know about offerings. You know, I've done offerings, lots of offerings in my life, so I'm really excited to share that information with you as well. If you're watching the replay, just if you have a question or anything, you can just go ahead and tag me, and I will always answer in the comments here. Okay? I'm happy you have AC. Me too. Although it's set at like 81, so it's 86 in here right now. Yay, summer! But I'm probably just gonna change and get in the pool right now because we have a pool. Thanks, Liz. All right, you guys. I will talk to you later. I love and miss you. I'm really glad that we're starting this again, and I have so much more I want to share with you. So I will see you soon. Bye.